Okay, this is our third lesson for 7th grade entitled Unknown Numbers in Arithmetic. And basically what we're going to be doing today is solving for different variables with arithmetic, which once again is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Alright, first thing about solving for variables is they have to be set in an equation, otherwise they don't mean anything. Now just a reminder for what an equation is, it can be very simple. It could be something as easy as 3 plus 4 equals 7. The official definition, it's just a statement where two quantities are equal to each other. So basically we have to have an equal sign and then two things on either side of it to show that they're equal. This is more along the lines of what we're going to be looking at today. 5 plus a number equals 9. Now, my students know that 5 plus 4 equals 9, so automatically a should be 4. The thing is what if you didn't know? We're going to run into equations where you're not really sure right away, like we are with this one. So what do we do? What would be our process to figure out what a is if it wasn't this simple? Well, the key is we have to use inverses, which we learned about a couple lessons ago, one of the first two. We have to use inverses. Remember, those are opposite operations or processes that undo each other. And we have to be very careful in paying attention to the signs that are used in an equation. Negatives, positives, that type of thing. So if we look at 5 plus a real quickly here, I notice that 5 plus a is happening. So what's happening to a? Well, we're adding 5 to it. So here's our a, and that's positive. It's positive a, since we're adding. In order to get rid of adding 5, we're going to do the inverse of that, which would be subtracting 5. Okay? So, the only thing is when we do one thing to one side of the equation, we absolutely have to do the same thing to the other side of the equation. So, if we do 5 minus 5, we get 0. So these just cancel out, and that's what we want. Our whole goal is to get that a by itself. That's why I boxed it. We want to get that thing alone. Okay? And now we have 9 minus 5, which we know is 4. Is our variable alone? Yes. A should equal 4. We already knew that, but that's how you would show that you know that it's 4. Alright. And I get a lot of questions still as to why we have to do things to both sides of the equation. Well, there's a little diagram that I make that clears that up. Okay. This is my rendition of a balance beam. Right now, 5 plus a and 9 are in complete balance. So if we're talking pounds here, if we take away 5 pounds from this side, we have to do the same thing over here, otherwise they're not going to be balanced anymore. So we also have to take away 5 here, like we do over here, to keep them balanced. So that's the whole idea behind making sure we do one thing. If we do one thing to one side, we have to do it to the other side. If we don't, they're not equal anymore, and then we can't solve for our variable. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Now just like I did on the previous one, I said maybe boxing the variable might help some people, just so we know where it is, what's happening. We've got n here, and it looks like we are adding 53 to n. So what I'm going to do, inverse, subtract 53 from both sides. Those will cancel out. we should get n equals minus 53, so n is 22. Okay. If we look at B, we've got A, and it happens to be, we're at 26 plus A. So we will do the opposite. Cancel. And if we do this, we'll get 5, 11, 35A equals 35. Now in order to check to see that those are right, we could take 22 plus 53, we should get 75. We could do 35 plus 26, and we should get 61. The only difference with C is that we want to make sure we add all of our numbers up first. Should get 15, 7, and then that would be 22. So we have n plus 22 equals 40. Subtract 22, and we'll get n equals 18. Alright, so those are our addition unknown problems. Subtraction. Students know that 5 minus 3 should give us 2. If we're going to go along the lines of inverses, we're going to do the opposite of what's happening here. We are subtracting a 3, so we're going to add 3 to both sides. Those will cancel, and we get A equals 5. Okay? Our next one, we have to pay attention now, because it's a little different than this side. Here, we're subtracting a letter or a variable. Here, the letter or variable was in front. So they're in two different spots. Now, yes, we are subtracting here, but we're not subtracting a number. We're subtracting a variable. So we will not take 5 plus 2 to get our answer. We are going to do this instead. Or nope, not minus 5. X should be 5 minus 2. So X equals 2. And 5 minus 3 should give us 2, and we know that it does. So if our variable is in this position for subtraction, you will do 5 minus 2. If it's over here, and we're with A, it's going to be A equals 3 plus 2. So, those are the two differences. Those are in the book. They show you what to do in each different situation. Alright, find an unknown number in each equation. These are just like the two above. Same position here, we're subtracting a number, so we will actually do P equals 24 plus 17, and we should get 1141. So that should be P. Letter B is just like the one right above it. We're subtracting an X, we're subtracting a letter, so it's actually 32 minus 14, and that should give us 14, subtract 18, so B equals 18. Okay? Now we're going to move on to multiplying. And what is the inverse of multiplication? Well, that is division. So these ones are a little easier. This says 12 times n equals 168. Well, the inverse is division, so we're going to divide by 12 on both sides. So now we have n equals 12 divided by 168. I'm going to go 1, 4, drop our 8, and 12 goes in there 4 times. 0. So n equals 14 here. Same thing over here. We're going to divide by 7. 7 goes into 105. 15 times. So k would be 15 in that situation. I think the multiplying is a little easier. It's easier to tell what to do in that situation. Now our last one is division. And one thing to keep in mind, what is doing the dividing? Is it a number or a variable? Kind of like our subtraction, we had to pay attention to that. Alright. Here we have some number divided by 3 gives us 8. If the number is on the bottom here, we will do multiplication. So we know that p equals 24. 24 divided by 3 will give us 8. But in this situation over here, we have 24 divided by what number gives us 8? Well, this is different. Our number is on the top, it's in the numerator. So in this case, we'll go n equals 24 divided by 8, which is 3. Alright? So depending on what spot your variable's in, it'll depend on what you do, kind of like subtraction. So, these ones are similar to the two above. A divided by 3 equals 15. Well, here we will say A equals 3 times 15. Or A equals 45. Since it's just like this one. And our last one here is just like this one. And we'll do B equals 64 divided by 4. Which is 16. And 64 divided by 16 should give us the right answer. And I believe that's our last slide. So, let me check. Yep. Once again, the assignment is on the homework link, and this was lesson 3 for 7th grade.